Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to say that being nominated for the Caribbean Life Impact alongside exceptional individuals who have made significant contributions in various fields in healthcare, the arts, advocacy, and entrepreneurship is truly an honor and a humbling experience. Picture this, the 1970s in the Bahamas and Jamaica. How many of you are fans of the Golden Girls? So you know exactly where I'm headed. There was once a young girl who ran around backyards through hills and valleys in Freeport, Grand Bahamas, and Port Antonio, Jamaica, sometimes bare feet, sometimes not. She did not imagine that she would one day be standing here in front of an august group of leaders and game changers to accept this award. While reluctantly doing chores and running errands on Saturdays, attending church every Sunday, with her grandmother, and sometimes on Tuesdays evenings for prayer meetings, she dreamed of reuniting with her mother, who had immigrated to New York City to provide a better life for her children. Living in the Caribbean, there's often the perception that America's streets are paved with gold. And while that may be true in many cases, when you're a single mother who came to this country as an adult, raising children in New York City humbles the strongest amongst us, and your dreams' luster begin to dim. Yet, it was my mother's sacrifices, working nights to provide shelter, clothing, and food, that I learned independence, resilience, and courage. Growing up in the Bronx, in a predominantly Caribbean community, I was blessed with many angels who saw something special in me. It indeed did take a village. Whether it was a middle school assistant principal who recommended me for gifted and talented classes, the mother in the building where we lived who took me under her wings as another daughter, or the church community who prayed for me. I was surrounded by people who would impact my life in ways they didn't know, and certainly in ways that I did not know. I recently shared with someone the peaks and valleys of my career in healthcare, and he said to me, "Your story is not very common, especially from whence you came. You have achieved significant accomplishments of which you should be proud." Now, ordinarily, I would brush off such a statement and keep it moving, but the statement caused me to pause and reflect on the road not taken. Many of you know Robert Frost's poem, which speaks to taking the road less traveled and differences that decisions make. For me, some of those decisions included moving from New York City to Albany, New York, to work for the New York State Senate, returning to a hospital trade association as vice president, leaving that job to work part-time so that my husband Adrian could soar professionally and I could spend more time with my young children, Aston and Brielle, and transitioning to a community hospital in South Brooklyn to lead the external affairs work. Today, at South Brooklyn Health, one of the initiatives that is dear and near to my heart is the South Brooklyn Health Collaborative for Action, Resilience, plus Empowerment equals Success, also known as SBH Cares. This initiative was birthed out of a community conversation on gun violence last year during Black History Month, where we invited the mayor's office, NYPD, community leaders, and emergency room physicians to discuss the drivers and solutions for violence, including gun violence. The community expressed a need for more educational and vocational activities for young people. 1 year later, I'm proud to say that along with my colleague, Bonnie Williams, we are leading the work of corporate and social responsibility by partnering with a local high school for at-risk young people to provide a career pathway at South Brooklyn Health through paid internships, certifications in CPR and electronic medical records, and a pathway for volunteering to employment. This program is the first of its kind at the hospital, and the goal is to expand SBH Cares to our local schools in the community over the next several years. I wholeheartedly look forward to continuing to serve my community in other similar initiatives. As I stated before, it takes a village to help provide opportunities for growth. Each person in one's village plays a crucial role in terms of the advice, mentoring, shared experiences, or similarities in background. As such, I would like to thank the CEO of South Brooklyn Health, Svetlana Lipinskaya, an immigrant from Ukraine and the first female CEO of this essential community hospital, for her leadership and steadfast support in the opportunities that have allowed for my professional growth in my current role and a positive impact on our community. My own experience as an immigrant woman of color has heightened my awareness of the importance of representation and of supporting the aspirations of those of whom I cross paths, regardless of their background and status. In closing, I would like to thank my husband Adrian and my pride and joy, Asid and Brielle, for being my rock. And in honor of Women's History Month, I'd like to pay tribute to the trailblazers at South Brooklyn Health Table. Now they're all standing here. Tanya Richards, Ty Abrams, Teresa Madeline, Diana Jacob, Lakeisha Weston, and Siobhan Williams for fearlessly breaking barriers and making their mark without compromise. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your evening.